So as we move through this, navigate through this world of separation, one of our celestial navigation points of reference could be, am I living the life I know I must live? Something like that.
Yeah.
Some question like that has the power to provide us the mysterious means to move forward and break the ice and keep ice breaking and keep moving to serve that end, which is the life I know I must live in service to those who sent me in the greater endeavor that I am a part of, that we all are a part of. So.
The ice-breaking ship. One thing to understand about ice-breaking ships, that they do break ice to move through the ice. But if they don't move, the ice breaks the ship. So it works the other way too. And you reach a point where you realize that your life really is important. It has somewhere to go. You can't plot it yourself, but you know it's moving. And something's moving it. And delay or taking side journeys now becomes dangerous because you're in the ice and you need to keep moving. You know, this is the sense of how purpose does not explain, it just impels. And you understand later, some point, why that had to happen. And this is the analogy of the ship. In fact, there's a whole teaching on the ship that we haven't released yet, where the notion of yielding to God is only a part of the emphasis, because you have to build your ship. You have to build your platform. You have to exert authority over your mind and your body and your affairs and what you give yourself to, or what will influence you. So at one level, you have to take greater control of yourself, assume the reins of your life. Okay, you have to manage the ship, your crew, which is your thoughts, your cargo, which is what you're carrying within you. You have to protect it. But you have to yield to greater forces to guide your ship. Because on this journey of sailing, your destination is unknown to you. So all of the acuity that has to accompany, like the old sailing ships, the skill, the craft, the observance, being really careful about where you are, knowing where you are, understanding the waves, the winds, all the elements of nature that affect your journey. And yet you also have to yield at another level to the purpose and destiny of your journey in your craft. So those two things have to coexist. I manage myself so that I can be directed. If I do not manage myself, I cannot be directed. I'm a mess. I can't be moved. I can't respond. I can't put my feet on the ground and move. And that's why so much of the emphasis at the beginning is about building your structure and exerting your authority appropriately. Instead of making separation work now, it's making your journey possible.
Before we depart this important engagement on the separation, I just want to speak briefly of the 3 keys to resolving our state of separation, as revealed in the revelation, the separation. 3 words. You don't even need to write them down because you'll remember. Service, compassion, forgiveness. Service, compassion, forgiveness. Think about those things and how they apply to your life. Service, what must I do? Compassion, what must I do? Forgiveness, what must I do?
What Michael said, very important, because the vast majority of people are working their way out of separation, I mean, at whatever stage they are. We congregate at the bottom of the mountain, but this is the mountain. There are those who will choose to come back into separation, because when you view separation from above, the purpose in service is so great. It's like, if you're a medical person, perhaps you felt the urge to go to West Africa to work in the Ebola clinic. See what I'm saying? Even though it's a hellish environment, tragic, very difficult, you'll be impelled. You see what I'm saying? Because you know you can make a difference there, knowing what you know. So there are those who come into the world who actually don't need to be here in terms of working out separation, but they need to be here because they have a form of service. And these people come into the world and are following a different drummer from the very beginning. I mean, their difficulty is that they can't build a foundation here. They're so kind of disconnected from the world from the outset. They have trouble getting grounded here. So they have a platform from which to operate. So there's hazards for them too. But there are people in the world, such as myself, who did not need to come here to work out separation. That happened somewhere else, not in this world, long ago. But I have to be here to carry out this unique form of service. And I was sent. I mean, you need to go there. Really? Yes. Even if you don't feel personally, individually motivated, you get sent because you have something the world needs. Okay. And though you'll get caught up in the world because, you know, the first part of life is really about finding out what doesn't work. And if you're young, understand that is, you have to know what doesn't work to be able to respond to what does. I mean, you just have to learn those things, living in separation. And some people, that consumes their whole life. But some of that, certain amount of that has to take place. So most people are working their way out of the ravine. Others are sent into the ravine. Their numbers are far smaller. But they have unique challenges too. And they have to take the steps to knowledge too, once they become immersed in the world. If you were to, my son's gone scuba diving. I've never been scuba diving, but I imagine that if you're down there long enough, you'd forget about what it was like above. You know, or you would tend to forget. You're so consumed in this new environment and what it takes to be there, and all the uncertainties and the beauty and the mystery of what could happen, the dangers, the risks. You could forget about your life on land. And I'm sure many people go diving for that very purpose. But The new message is giving us an opportunity to see our life the way heaven sees our life, which is very different from the notion of being born in sin, which is a foundational understanding for so many people in the world. In fact, it says in the separation, because I posted this on the chat, consider the difference between Christians teaching us with the Christian notion of being born in sin. It says in the separation, God loves you even if you seek separation, so God assures that your experience of separation can ultimately be meaningful to you. Meaningful to who you are, not meaningful to what you're trying to be. Again, because we're dealing with two different realities that are very different from each other. We have to hold both those realities. Like you're walking down a corridor, this is the physical reality, and this is your divine reality, and they're completely different. But you have to be able to hold them both, or learn to over time. And not try to join them, wed them, make them the same. Because you're the bridge between two realities. That's your destination, ultimately. Imperfect bridge, maybe doesn't, that's not the issue. You have an anchor on each shore. That's why the new message wants to keep you grounded in the world and not have you drift away, okay? Float off the surface somewhere. But also to be entrained with what sent you here. Be a bridge. A bridge is, if you know you're the bridge, then you know that you are connecting to reality. And you can't build this bridge yourself, clearly. But everything you know about the world will help you build the bridge at one shore. And everything that must be revealed to you will help you build the bridge at the other shore.
If I may ask, when did the two meet? If you're building, the bridge is being built on both shores.
When do they meet? When something can cross over.
But when can something cross over?
When the bridge is sufficiently built.
Go ahead, ask again.
So what I really mean is...
Well, things will cross over, you will be asked to give certain things to certain people that are beyond your understanding, or impelled to do certain kinds of things that aren't part of your fulfillment agenda, or taken away from things that you've invested in heavily that you wouldn't leave otherwise. That's the sign of heaven moving your life, to move you into the position between these two shores. So this is, the perspective of the land is different when you're standing on the land as opposed to seeing it from above. So we can't fully see it from above. But what is known from above needs to be imparted to us to a certain degree. So you're in formation to grow into something that is extraordinary and important, and it's according to your vows before coming here. It's not foreign to you in essence, but you don't know what it means or what it's going to look like, or even where you stand on the mountain. So The chat, many people ask, well, I don't need to understand why I came into separation. You don't need to understand that. Because the only way you can understand that, according to the teaching, is to undo the separation. Because then all the motivations, the initial motivation, the subsequent motivations will all be revealed to you. Because what is the separation but an opportunity to find out that there is no alternative to creation? Like the prodigal son, story. You come back, making all these mistakes and kind of messing up your life, and you're welcome back because you came back. When you're really sorting out your house or rebuilding your house, it's a total mess for a while. Thing. Sorting out your mind gets very messy and confusing. So that heaven can work with you.